The great thing about it is when you do it sustainably, you get a better yield, a better product, you get socially responsible action, and you win across the board. It just takes a little effort.
And
so,
you know, that's the answer to whole food. Like, why whole food? Because we are of the earth. We truly are exactly the same as everything you see around you. Not this building included. But in terms of nature, we are nature. It's like when people say, why is it so important to whole food? And we're thinking, don't you get it? Like, we are exactly, when he says the earth, the ground is like our own flora, it doesn't get more clear than that. So if we don't honor earth and the soil and how we work it, we're not honoring ourselves. And if it's not healthy, we're not healthy. That's one of the major reasons why whole food.
I think, too, some statistics. If you look at spinach that was raised in the San Joaquin Valley of California in 1996 versus spinach raised in the San Joaquin Valley of California in 1966, 30 years difference. The 1996 spinach had only 1/3 of the beta-carotene vitamin A that the 1966 spinach had. Take an orange. An orange raised in the San Joaquin Valley of California in 1996 versus 1966. The 1996 orange had half the vitamin C content of the 1966 orange. When was the last time you saw a supplement facts panel on the side of an orange?
Looks the same, you know, sometimes can taste the same.
So why organic?
Yeah.
Why non-GMO?
Yeah. It's a whole other conversation.
I'm starting to get a few questions. The first question is, where do you get Himalayan salt?
Yeah. Well, typically most, you know, higher-end nutrition stores, and you can Google it too. You can easily just try to make sure the quality is there. Brands. We kind of deal on a bigger. Trader Joe's should have some.
Yeah.
Whole Foods. It's different than Celtic salt.
Yeah.
It's different. Celtic salt is a different salt. It's not that it's bad. It's just different. And the crystalline structure of the Himalayan crystal salt has got more minerals intact with it.
Good question about the coconut flower nectar. They're asking, as we look at tropical, do we think that the glycemic index, the sugar content in the new formula will be higher or lower based upon that? Is
the glycemic index will not be above what chocolate or greenberry is. In fact, it'll probably be a little bit lower, to be honest with you.
And I would, you know, probably shouldn't say it, but it's probably going to be considerably lower. Just on its own, it is one of the lowest glycemic sugars that we've seen. So it's already been tested on as a singular ingredient. So again, the synergy of Shakeology on top of that will also create an even better effect. So we'll be excited to see the actual results.
Yeah, we've got it at the lab now being tested for glycemic index. So within the month, we'll have glycemic index values for tropical.
There have been questions about how many times a day it's safe to take Shakeology. Is there any concern there about overexposure to whole foods?
I want to know that person, like how many times a day do you want to take it? Like what's happening with your dinner, lunch, and breakfast, or what's up, man? But, sorry. How many times a day? Is there a one cookie answer to that? I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to be addicted, like in terms of wanting to skip your meal. This is not about making you afraid of eating real food. And
I think that's part of the question that we tweeted. We have a coach who's a doctor and said that the vitamin A content, you could have too much vitamin A.
Like the cleanse, where
If you take it 3 times a day.
when you do only the test for 3 days, you're talking about?
You could have like vitamin A toxicity or something we should call it.
Well, I think he's worried about rats in the attic when he got elephants on the roof.
Exactly. That's good.
That's the quickie answer.
I love those answers.
I am fortunate in that I have a lot of samples of Shakeology that need to be tasted during the day. If you looked at it, what if somebody took 5 Shakeologies, 4 Shakeologies, 6 Shakeologies, is there a chance for a toxicity? No. And we look at that. We look at what if somebody took Shakeology and results in recovery and doubled the dosage? No, there's not a toxicity. Now, the thing that you don't realize is most of the vitamin A that is in Shakeology is beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a non-toxic vitamin A source. So we look at that. And it's particularly, vitamin A is particularly sensitive to me. I have a brother who was born without an outer layer of skin. And physicians at that time prescribed 1 million units of vitamin A a day for him. So he actually went into avitaminatosis. So when we look at Shakeology, we do that. You know, what about 4 Shakeology? What about 6? Is there toxicity? No, because it is whole food based.
Yeah,
it's natural.
It's very different when you're dealing with whole food. It's a whole. When you read about research with isolates, you know, when they take a vitamin from the food, it's very different. The effect and how it's being assimilated, the consequence of ingesting it in that form as opposed to isolate form, it's 2 different worlds.
If you look at, as Isabel's talking about, if you look at the isolated forms of vitamin A, you don't start getting into a toxicity until you get over about 100,000 international units a day. That's with the isolated form, not well. So again, we're not even close.
Let me bundle 3 questions. The questions are about different age groups, right? We've heard the last group about children. We've actually had questions from this group about, is it safe for children? Is it safe for pregnant mothers and mothers breastfeeding? And is it safe for elderly?
Well, I know that I have had it. I had it before, during, and after my pregnancy. I know that my pediatrician said that he would stamp it, and he will. Actually, we had him aboard, and he will stamp it that he thinks it's safe for children. And as I said previously, it always makes me smile that people are worried if it's safe for children, and then I would love to go in their kitchen and see what they do feed their children. I would not even want around my property. Like I just don't even want to see it. And it's in there, and then they have it every morning, and it has a Fruit Loop birdie kind of a thing on it. And it's just like, okay, you're worried about this, but he's got that 3 times a day. It's just, again,
They toilet paper at my house when they want to get even with Isabel, they put Big Macs on their lawn.
yeah.
And with the elderly, over about age 40, people start losing about 1 pound of lean tissue per year. Now I can tell there's nobody over age 40 in this group. I want you to know that. But a 65, 70-year-old grandmother has lost 20 to 30 pounds of lean tissue. She's literally withering up. Goes to the physician says, "Oh, you need more calories." Prescribe something like Ensure.
Oh, I was just thinking Ensure.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like that. We've got to tell them that's crap. I don't care if you put it on Google. It's like,
yeah, those of you who've not tried Ensure, only go out and buy 1 can because you won't buy the second can. It's sugar and...
They give it to all the elderly. Yeah. Every single one of them that I see me talk to, it's just driving me nuts.
And,
yes, of course. All the doctors, they know best.
Yeah, they're suffering by that. And a lot of times when I'm out speaking, I'll talk about how a 65-year-old grandmother and the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers have the same protein requirement per pound of body weight. And I get this quote in the paper the other day, and it said that I was running around saying that Brett Favre plays like a 65-year-old grandmother. But again, the best thing you can do is...
Somebody had to say it.
is think in terms of, you've got somebody who's withering up, wasting away. You want them to have the healthiest meal of the day, the protein, the balance, the whole food, instead of this refined, manufactured liquid.
You know, I think the only thing on that is just use your awareness. If someone is in that condition, then just hey, there's nothing wrong with taking a third of it, a quarter of it, and just giving it a go. Their body will respond. And then just go from there. And you know, in terms of kids, there's two kind of stories that are fun for me. My 10-year-old goddaughter was significant in my finalizing of formulating Shakeology in terms of when I had this unlabeled canister that was from the manufacturer that I just had completed, and I was still playing with it. And she happened to be in from Colorado, and I didn't say anything, and I had her mix it. And hey, do you want this? And she goes, yeah. She took it, and with no edit, she said, Uncle Darin, I want this every day for lunch because I don't want what they're feeding us at school anymore. And so then at that point, I knew I'm like, okay, I'm down. This is ready to go. And then this other email that I got, I think just only a couple weeks ago, this lady was saying her 2.5-year-old hadn't taken a poop in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
And seen the doctor, and they didn't know what to do. And
they don't know what to do. Doctors. Actually, you know what, guys? Don't put this stuff on YouTube. I'm in trouble here.
That's what that is for. But,
yeah, thank you.
No, this is all in fun, but there's truth in sarcasm. So, instinctually, this mom turned her back, and the child did what it wanted, right? The child reached over his own little table, grabbed her mom's Shakeology, she just blended it up and drank it. I don't know how much she drank, but within a few minutes, she went to the bathroom, and at that point, it was done. And I get this email, and I was like, wow, you know? And that's the beauty about, we facilitated creating Shakeology, but Shakeology desired to become Shakeology.
Yeah.
And it's doing its thing. And I'm sure you all have a story that you can share personally about what it did, the intelligence it had, and all of its whole food magic. It did its thing in your body and gave your body what your body desired. And that's the beauty about it. And going back to the kids who aren't in their heads about should I or shouldn't I, and protein and carbs and fats and like boom, I need that, boom, took it, done. So what would it take for us to start listening to what our body needed and start listening to our knowing and gain more curiosity in what we desired for our body, so what you lived optimally. Live in that question and see where that takes you.
I'm getting several questions about vegan. One question about, are we still working on a vegan formula? And then, Isabelle, maybe you can address, you live vegan, maybe you can talk about the fact how you made a decision to consume Shakeology. Despite the whey protein, maybe talking about the whey protein.
It goes back to what Darin was saying, that I didn't make a decision to be vegan. It was never an intellectual process for me. I've experienced with all sorts of things, being raw, macrobiotic, did all the detox that I could find my hands on. I was saying last session that I did what it's called breatharianism, which means you just breathe air. I mean, I've gone way out there, and
margins are good on that product, though.
Yeah. If you're broke, it's fantastic. And if you resell it, we get great profit. But